Hey, what's up, family? What's up? How y'all doing tonight? I hope y'all doing good today. Um, Peace and blessings to everybody that is in the building right now. Thank you very much for coming to join me for another edition of Freestyle Friday. This is our second one. Um, and for those that may not know, Freestyle Friday is a time where, I wanted to set aside for us to come together and just kind of talk about whatever's on our mind, talk about what's happened during the week, or whatever topic, you might want to discuss. And we just kind of throw out subjects, freestyle form, and we just rap about it. You know what I'm saying? So peace and blessings to everyone. I am going to put the link in the chat. So I'm going to do that right now. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's see here. Get this up. Get this up for you guys. And I hope you come on. Don't be shy. You can't be more shy than I am. So come on. Come join me. All right. Just post it real quickly. Stay. Let's see. All right. I did it. Shout out to Karis for showing me how to do that the last time. All right. Okay. So if you want to come in, come on down and let's talk. Let's talk. And while I wait for somebody to join me, I just want to say again, thank you for coming to just sit and chat with me and, hear what I have to say. And I'm interested to hear what you have to say as well. Um, you know, come on and do AV. Oh, snap. Look now. I can't sing. I can spit. I can kick some rhymes. You know what I'm saying? I can't sing though. I should, right? Back in the day when I was a child, Brandy and Monica was popular, and so that was my thing, like I'm Brandy. Oh, we got one. Doot doot. Hey, shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Right. Shabbat shalom. Right. How you doing? Right. I'm like, look, I don't even know what day it is. It's been one of those been one of those days,
Oh, I hear you.
It's been yeah, I had a friend that came over and brought her children so we could have a play date. But so I was cleaning all day, and then about time for her to come, I was like, where is she at? And she texted me like, hey, you coming over? I'm like, you said I thought you were coming over to my house. I was like, I cleaned this house. You got to come over and see this clean house. So, so she had to come over. So it was a tough day, but I'm glad to be here. How you doing?
Sister Brandy, thanks for having me on
Of
for
course.
this. Because I said this earlier in my live. I said, I said I'm coming back. I'm coming up on Sister Brandy's.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I said I wish somebody would talk about how the universe treated and oh yeah. Oh, that argument was on out there.
What? The universe treated? Wait, what?
Oh,
What?
you did? Oh my
What
goodness.
happened?
Oh,
Oh, you got to fill me
yeah.
in now. You got to fill me in.
Yeah, so I opened up my live stream this morning.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
let me tell
Ooh.
you that when you get to when you get those big subscriber
Uh-huh.
numbers, you're gonna get more problems.
Okay, okay.
So people try to run their agenda and run
I
their
know you shut it
game, and
down.
I let the brother talk for a
Okay,
little bit,
okay,
and
okay.
shout out to brother Garth and sister Chantel, because you know it was when the brother had said, the creator, the universe, and all this other stuff, and
Mm-mm.
then it was we don't know if the Most High is a male or female.
Oh,
That's
it's
like,
time to go. It's time to
oh,
go. It's time to
you
go.
should have you should have seen the chat section
Oh,
light up.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
No, it's
they
time
wanted
to
to.
go.
They were going to digitally stone the brother, and I said, I was like, let me rip my clothes from this blasphemy.
Right, right. Like, and he rent his clothing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was like blasphemy.
Right, right. No, exactly, exactly. Shalom, brother Dave. Shalom.
Good evening. Good evening.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Right.
Yeah, this chamomile is gonna put me to sleep. It's not gonna wake me up. No,
Oh,
that's crazy. That's crazy. Look, see, I get nervous. See, I recognize some names because we all typically frequent the same platforms. But when I see a name I don't know, you know, I get nervous because I know y'all have had some experiences. So
Right.
I'm not trying to have any experience. I had one. What did I have? I had one troll that Sister Ruhama had to get rid of, and that was pretty. That was pretty epic. I was like, I can't believe I have a troll. I can't believe it.
You better gear yourself up for it. It's gonna happen.
Right, right.
It's gonna happen. It happens. It happens to the best of us. I tell you what. When it does happen, then you know you somebody.
Well, I don't know. I don't. Well, we're all somebody, but I don't necessarily feel like I'm, you know, doing anything, out of the ordinary or any, special. I don't know. I
Right.
will have a real conversation tonight because y'all are meeting like tired Brandy. So we're gonna have a real. We always have real conversations, but it's about to get even realer. But let me tell you about my day. No, but oh, we have a sister that would like to come in. But how you doing, brother Dave? How's your day been?
I've been hanging in there. Hanging in there. I missed Sister Ease because I figured, all right, I wait for Teos. I take a couple hours of sleep. I woke back
Okay.
up. Sister E had already done one. I said, your brother Yakoba came on. I was like, all right, I'm in line for this one. And I was here waiting on you. Had to check on the cat, make sure the cat's all right, and I'm ready to go.
Right on, right on. I appreciate you waiting for me. Appreciate it. Yeah, I tried to take a little cat nap myself in the middle of making dinner. Don't do that. Don't try to nap during while you're cooking. It's not smart. I almost burnt the house down one time. I was trying to make tamales, right? And I had my steamer set up, and I fell asleep. I woke up,
Hey,
smoke everywhere.
I did the
You know.
same thing. I did the same. I forgot I had put the tea kettle on. I
Okay.
just sat down in a chair, went to sleep, but I didn't have it on so it would whistle, and I shut the door like an idiot. And then next thing I know, I smelled metal burning. I jumped
Mm-mm.
up out of that bed so fast, ran in the kitchen. I'm like, oh man, I destroyed another tea kettle. I'm getting
You
old.
said another one.
Another one. It's like my second one. I'm pissed off at myself. I'm like, I don't even remember putting it on. That's how tired I was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Shabbat Shalom, Sister Charlotte.
Shabbat
Nice to meet you.
shalom. Nice
How
to
you
meet you
doing?
too.
How
Can you
you
hear
doing
me?
today? Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, well, I started out my morning with listening to Brother Karras. I always can only catch the replay. I'm sorry, I can't wake up that early. It's just way too early. I'm in Delaware, so that's just way too early. So I never catch him live unless he actually, opens up his stream to his guests like Brother Dave. But I have to rewind. I can never like come in late onto somebody's stream and then try and catch up. I got to rewind it. So I'm always late. But it was kind of funny today. I was like, Yah sent the children to handle business. He sent the children to handle
Didn't he?
business.
Didn't he? Have you heard Garth go get butt like that?
He
Did
went
he get
in.
Garth?
I'm
Did he
like,
go on?
no.
Did he
Oh
go
no,
on?
he did. He did.
Oh, I
Sister
can't even
Chantel.
imagine. I can't even imagine that.
Oh my
But
goodness.
you know what though? We have to be able to meet foolishness where it's at and handle it. You know what I mean? And shut that down. So you know what? Usually when I get up in the morning. You already done been on for at least a half an hour or so. So I'll chime in until it's time for me to start the schooling with the children. And then, like, if we take a break, we take like a 30-minute break, then I'll try to hop back in and see what I missed But I missed this morning. Now I'm going to have to go back. You probably not coming on tomorrow. So that'll give me time to catch up and see what happened. I'm interested to hear, how this went down. But wow.
Oh no, we took some clips and stuff. And the funniest thing though, I'm not gonna lie. The funniest thing was when he had said that and then he was trying to backtrack like he didn't say it. It's like no, the whole chat, the whole everybody done heard you say we don't know if the Most High is a male or female. Oh,
No, you
my
tripping.
goodness.
My 10-year-old saying, Yah is a he.
Bingo.
There you go.
I homeschool as well.
Man.
So
Oh, you do?
yeah, I use the Abeka curriculum. So,
Okay.
My 10-year-old just had a book report that she had to do, and I'm reading the little book, and it's on the pilgrims.
Oh, okay.
They call themselves pilgrims.
Mm-hmm.
But so I sent all of her because it's accredited, and so I had to send all her tests and things in, and I didn't send the book report in because it would be a lie.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
they emailed me, and I responded to the email nice and in order, I would say. But I pretty much told them, I said, absolutely no, she's not going to write lies. This child is an Israelite of the tribe of Judah. So she has a covenant with her father, her heavenly father, that she is to bear no false witness. I am sorry. And then I had to tell them who these people are that came over here. They're the most barbaric people. They're the most evil and savage people in the entire world.
Yeah.
I got the email back today, and they was like, I totally understand. We'll go ahead and finish grading her.
Well, because what are you going to say? What is going to be your response? What can they say to you?
But it's almost as if they already know that they are teaching. They're just teaching falsities.
Right.
Because these are Abeka books. Like they're not, some Scholastic or some, what is those? I can't even think of the Hill name, but it's not like they're just taking books that are already published by, publishers. They're actually
McGraw Hill is that big publisher in Alton. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, but Abeka is
supposed to
be it's a Christian curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much that I have to go back and teach these girls because I got a 5-year-old and 10-year-old, and like we go over things. My girls know. So much so to the point where we had a visitor that came and, she was that color. And Jazz was like, you need to repent or you're going to burn. No, wait a minute. No, she's like, you need to repent or you're going into slavery.
Wow.
I'm like, we don't listen to that camp doctrine. She listens to Karis. She listens to Teo. She listens to Sister E. She listens to Gates of Halda. Like,
right.
You got that from them, so it's not the camps.
Right. No, absolutely. You know what? Absolutely. That's what the word says. That's what the word says. So, I have an 11-year-old. She's almost 12. With her, with the curriculum we use, we can we use a time for learning. So we do that. And then we do, like with my little ones, we will do workbooks and stuff like that also and use the time for learning. And there's certain things on there that, it's all the lessons and all the curriculum is laid out and you just work through it throughout the year. And so if there's something that comes up that Obviously, it's not true. Like, for instance, social studies. Like, I'm very, I guess, particular on what she can and can't learn. So there'll be certain things like, oh, they want me to learn about this particular people and about their gods, and no, you're not doing that. If you want to learn social studies, we're gonna learn about us. You know what I mean? We're not gonna learn about these different like the Inuit people and so on and so forth. And they wanted her to make come up with her own god, and I'm like, no, you're not doing that. You know what I mean? She was very uncomfortable, and obviously I was too. So there's things that we X out when we can do that. You know what I mean? Because that is not necessary for your education.
So at least Becca doesn't do that. I mean, they'll talk about different cultures, but they don't go into the religions of those cultures. They just talk about their landscape, their housing, and things of that nature. But my daughter, my 10-year-old Sophia, she always has a problem because the curriculum is DVDs. I don't do the online because I don't want them absorbing all of that, the EMFs. I have an EMF sensitivity myself. I was a software developer, and I had to quit my job because I just couldn't take it. Like, I can't do lives like this. After a while, the top of my head starts to burn. It's not like a regular headache. It's like a burning sensation in the top of my head. I just can't take it. But yeah, my 10-year-old, she would talk about, what they're learning in science. And I'm like, that's not true, right? There's water above us and there's water below.
Yep.
And that's a nice little beautiful dome.
Right.
And there's nothing getting out of that dome.
Right. Yep. That's
so
another
all that is lies. These planets, lies.
Right. That's another thing we had to omit. We told her, I think she was almost 5, maybe, when we told her that it wasn't true. Because if you learn the truth, are you going to perpetuate the lie? No, we're not going to perpetuate the lie. We're going to tell you what it is, so that's one thing. Also, we don't do anything on plant science. Okay, we'll do, life science, whatever the case, but we are not touching anything in regards to, nope, don't touch it. And I don't touch it with my little ones either, because you're going to learn the truth, so.
I can't wait to get out of Babylon.
Yeah, me either.
I have my theories, Karis, on the date, and it hasn't changed since I've came up with it. So this is what my theory, and it's my theory, but the Most High never gave me any type of inclination that it was incorrect. So, all right, so how we have doctrine that says that there's a 7-year tribulation. All right, so I said, all right, well, that tribulation probably will start with Revelation chapter 6, right? The first angel that had the bow and the toxin, and then when you look at bow in the Strong's Concordance, it translates to toxin. Oh, the bow translates to toxin, the crown, corona. So I'm like, that was the first plague. And then you have your famine, you have your economic and all of that. So all of those are happening concurrently. And first it was that toxin and all of that. But I think what was to conquer was that thing that they, So if we would start from there, that started right at the end of our 400 years. So if you go from our 400 years, and then knowing Revelation 12:4 says that we take wings of an eagle and we go to a place that was prepared for us in the wilderness. Well, we're there in the wilderness for 3.5 years. So 3.5 years minus that 7 years, or 7 minus 3.5, we got 3.5 years left. So let's get that date that we got here, that first ship that came here in 1619. That was in August, mid-August. And so mid-August, 400 years, and then we calculate 3.5 years. That's between February and March. That's right before the Passover. And in the Septuagint, Teo brought up that in Jeremiah chapter 38, that it states that we are going to go to the Passover. He was going to gather us to the Passover. So I'm like,
Okay. Yeah. And you know what? Right now, we're in a time frame where in a place where everything, like I said before, kind of feels compressed, and like we're in a transitional period, but we haven't made that transition yet. So it's like almost like a waiting, but it's like we know we're getting ready to move into that next phase. And so we're all right now we're speculating because we know we pretty much feel like something has to happen like now. You know what I mean? Especially with everything that's happening. And so, yeah, I do believe that this Passover is going to be different. I believe that with everything that's building up at this point and how fast it's building up, I do believe that by I don't know within maybe a month or so, we're going to see maybe that event that takes us that catalyst that takes us to the next level, or you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I apologize for the person. Oh, it's static.
Yeah, you do have a bit of static. Am I
Yeah,
static?
you're getting feedback. You're getting feedback.
Okay, let me see.
I wasn't sure if that was Brandy or if that was you, Karis, with them earplugs.
Yeah, don't worry. My that radiation done toasted my brain. I don't know what the heck was dripping out of my sinuses. I said I need to get some plugged in earphones. Now that DJ done put me to game, I said did that radiation done cook my brain? I didn't know what was going on.
Is it still static?
Yeah, he's so static.
What?
Had me walking in Best Buy and everything. I'm like, I gotta find me a pair of some wired mic and
Right.
everything else.
Look,
Right.
old school works best.
Yeah, I just bought some new headphones.
Well, I tried to do too old school, and I found out that the soup can and the yard was not working the way that I thought it was gonna work. I said, where is the USB cable? Where's the
Right. Yep. Gotta go old school.
old school? Oh man. But yeah, no, listen. I don't want to try to hem anybody up on dates.
I know. But they were making me mad. Teo talking about some 2 years. I'm like, I'm not staying here for 2 years. I'll be in Tanzania. I'll be knocking on, somebody's door. Hey, let me in. I'll work for free.
I don't remember Teo saying 2 years. He was the one who was saying that we were going to be.
Wasn't saying 2 years. Teo was saying 2
Oh,
years.
it was Teo. Right. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Teo. Yeah, you're right.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then when Karis was like, I think that 6 months or less, I'm like, I'm with you, Karis.
Look, and now that these folks look, you didn't even get what, a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like right after the live had cut off, Sister E's like, have you all seen this?
Okay. Do I still sound funny?
No, you still sound choppy.
What? Okay. Yeah, you do.
Sound like you're talking through a fan.
Get in my ear. Sound funny. Man. Okay. Oh, okay. I might have to come out and come back in. Let me see. Oh, come on now. Use your mic.
You might check your mic cord.
Yeah, so it's the mic cord. That's just giving the feedback. It happens. Don't worry. Once you get up to 1,000, monetize your stuff. Just be like, all right, I'm just doing these freestyle lives. Y'all can't come up here unless y'all give me $50 cash apps. Right. We'll see how this thing goes. It's like the subscriber count would just be like, no.
All right, is that better?
Nope.
Oh, come on. Okay, should I restart?
I would restart the whole thing.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
What if I don't think you have to restart it. You just have to get a new cable. You can just do the audio settings.
I'm coming from internal mic.
Yeah. So if you plug in, there's the settings right there. I do this all the time because I have a headphone that dies. Do the settings, and then put an external mic in there. When that external mic reads, you can click on the settings. You can go to audio, and then you can do the mic and the microphone and what else? And I'm tired. I can't even think. Audio.
Is that better?
Yeah, speaker and mic. Try it again.
Okay.
This is gonna go on your left ear.
Did you take it out?
Yeah, I disconnected.
Y'all sound clear right there.
Yeah,
I sound clear?
Yeah,
What you
clear.
did, and
What did we do? We didn't. I mean, as long as it's clear, I mean, we got no complaints.
Is it clear?
Is it clear?
it's clear, but as soon as you like raise your voice a little bit, then the static hits back in again.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we're
it's
gonna.
waffling.
Is it clear?
No, that's not.
He
Clear.
said if I raise my voice,
No, it's
if I talk down.
volume, not
Okay.
volume.
Yeah, are you getting feedback through that?
No.
Or you yeah.
Let me see that. Let me see that.
Here, let me see.
Yeah, you may have to turn down the volume if you're hearing us come through. You see what I'm saying? We're
Okay.
probably that feedback.
Your left ear.
Okay. Is that better? Is that better?
There you go. Look at that. Sound engineer. See that? That's how the magic happens.
Yo, that was crazy. Look, this isn't
Yeah,
going
see?
as I wanted it to, but you know what? This is real life.
Can they hear you?
Yeah.
Can they hear you?
Yeah, you're clear.
Can you look up to see what battery percentage that piece is in?
Yeah, so I just put in
90%
okay,
battery.
cool. All right, okay. All right. We're all right now. But
Paris went through that same problem.
okay.
Yeah, I go through it all the time.
Yep.
Where's the other one?
My sound engineer, I had to fire him, and then I had to rehire him because that's the same person.
Right about that.
That's me.
But so we were talking about Passover, right? I don't know, like we're all really we tiptoe around time frames, but I don't know at the point that things are headed, especially with this whole situation. I don't know, y'all. I need somebody to tell me something. And that's the country way of saying something don't make right. It makes sense. Something's not right. Okay, this earthquake or these earthquakes that happen 12 hours apart over there in Turkey, that is not natural. I mean, nothing is natural right now. You know what I mean? Because this place is under judgment, and so are the other nations. But that is unheard of. So I only have two thought frames on that. Is either A, what did they do, to make the Most High, that angry, or B, that was done to them. You know what I'm saying? So I want to get your opinions, because that is radical. You never have a 7 something earthquake and then 12 hours later have another 7 something earthquake. You have tremors and so on and so forth that come from one earthquake, but aftershocks and stuff. But you never have two literal earthquakes that hit like that. Not that I've ever heard of. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But it's just extremely odd. Over 20,000 people dead. I don't know. Right. Somebody, what do y'all think about that?
Well, it's kind of hard to gauge whether it's man-made or whether it's y'all doing it.
Oh,
it's
I
kinda,
know.
Right. It's kind of hard to get. All I know, when I looked into it, they talked about this red cloud that just happened to appear, and it sort of had like a devil's face on it.
Yeah.
That they were talking about. So I'm like, dude, is this HARP or it's kind of hard to gauge things nowadays because there's so much deception in the air right now. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So there were starting in late January, they were saying that there were going to be some terrorist attacks in Turkey. And then they shut down all the embassies and they evacuated all of their people. A couple days later, you got these earthquakes. There's no such thing as coincidence. They knew what they were going to do. It was pretty much, so they said that Finland would be able to get into NATO, but Sweden would not be able to. That was Turkey's decision. And, NATO wasn't happy with that, with Turkey saying, oh, Finland can come in, but Sweden can't come in. So then, they started there was an article about, Turkey helping with Russia, and they were going to get sanctioned and things on that nature. And then they kept with the terror attack threats. They seem to do that when they're about to do something.
Yes.
Yeah, and they were doing it several times in Africa, but I believe that Africa figured out what was going on because what was it, Kenya and Uganda? KLM Airlines has stated on their website that they were not going to be flying into those two countries because of civil unrest. And they're like, wait a minute, where's the civil unrest? There's no civil unrest here. Like, what are you talking about? How do you know that there's going to be civil unrest? Are you going to cause this civil unrest or what? So right now, I believe that so everything is so transparent. If you know where to look and read these different articles and follow these different things, then you might see, okay, there's the warnings, there's another warning, there's another warning, and then boom. And HARP actually has the technology, and they already told everybody that they have the technology to create these earthquakes. There is a treaty between all of these different countries that said that they would not be able to use these because they call them weapons of mass destruction because they can't stop it. They can start it, but they can't stop it. It's like with the plagues of Egypt when the magicians came and said, "Oh, we can do that too." You couldn't stop it. To the point where they're asking Moses, "Can you stop this?" So, did that answer your question?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I totally agree with you that whenever they continuously warn about something, that's when something's going to happen. And that's the situation that's happening with this EMP situation also. Like they continue to put out, warnings and, hey, get your generators and, the infrastructure, the power stations are being attacked. Something, how it would be so dangerous for the power grid to go down and so on and so on. They keep building on that, and they've been building on that for years now, and it's increased exponentially. And we're at the point where I believe that we're gonna see that unfold. But real quick, I just wanted to say something to Jaden. I'm sorry that it took me a second to get everything situated, but Shabbat Shalom to you. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me? Am I coming in clear?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Shalom, everybody. Shalom, Sister Brandy, Brother Karis, Brother Dave, Sister Charlotte. This is actually my first live that I've jumped on to. So, Sister Brandy, you have that honor of being my first. So,
Shalom, Jaden.
Shalom, Dave. I don't mean to derail the conversation. I like to keep it going, but I just want to thank you for providing this platform. I was kind of nervous coming on, but after hearing all the conversation about like homeschooling, which is kind of where I came from when I grew up, I was homeschooled. And really like hearing about like Sister Charlotte being like a software developer and stuff. And I just find it so interesting that for us in the awakening, that so many of us come from like an IT or tech background. Like I myself, I work as, I don't want to, give too much of my information away online, but I just want to say, how it is, I got to stay incognito a little bit. But I'm actually an instructional technician at a college, and that's like, dealing with printing issues and like software stuff. So I just find it so funny, like that the Most High has brought all of us so much with so many like similarities in our backgrounds together like this. And that's just, to me, that's just a work of the Holy Spirit working in these last days. So, I mean, all praises to the Most High for that. I would say back to like the subject of Turkey, I did come across this video. It was like on Twitter, and it was somebody kind of that was questioning the whole narrative behind the Turkey earthquake, kind of like we are right now. But they were showing like civilian video of like different places, I guess, in Turkey where these buildings were just collapsing. And it was strange because it looked like it was just one building, like a controlled demolition of that one building that came down, but none of the other buildings were affected. And it was like multiple of them, one after the other after the other. And I think that's like, I suspect I'm naturally conspiratorial minded. So I'm thinking it's some secret, covert, controlled demolition happening. And it's kind of like what Sister Charlotte's talking about with HARP, all the stuff they're doing there. I think that's tied into it. So, I believe that this whole Turkey quake narrative is not what not what they make it out to be. And I think it is definitely man-made.
I think that's a great argument. I definitely think that's a great argument because someone pointed it out to me. Said, it looked like what happened before. When there was another situation where there was controlled demolition
Yes.
in 2001.
11.
So, yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yep. And so, the fact that if buildings are popping out like that, that's not an earthquake. You know what I mean? That is definitely man-made. So, and the way you can tell by the way they report on it, I really can't stand mainstream like news, mainstream media, but I like to go on because I like to decipher, what they're saying, because I know that it's a lot of garbage, but I know there's a lot of mind control, and I like to kind of like break through that mind control and say, what is it that you want me to think? Let me see what it is that you're trying to relay to me and that you want me to receive, because through the Holy Spirit, He's given us the mind and the eyes to be able to look at the things that they do and say, what is it that you're trying to put on? So when you listen to how they relay the story on on mainstream media, it's like, oh, look at these people being pulled out of the rubble, and look at this, and close-ups, and they're it's like they want you to feel they're trying to control your feelings in in a certain way, and it's the mainstream media is very theatrical, right? It's very theatrical, and so it's just the way they're relaying it. If it was really, I don't know, I just there's no what's the word I'm looking for? I'm always saying that. If it was something of course this happened, but would you have people with cameras up close like that? Almost reminds me of when, remember the chemical attacks was that in Syria? The chemical attacks, and how they were close up with cameras on, children that are being, sprayed and washed off, and oh, look at these children, look. It's like it was very suspicious, you know what I mean? Like they're trying to make you feel a certain way, trying to make you, was that to get Assad out, right? And so it's just very suspicious in the way they're presenting the story. You know what I mean? So
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Karis.
No, go ahead, brother Jay. Shalom. Well, welcome to the first. It won't be last. It won't be last.
Thanks. I appreciate that, bro.
The moment, look, I'm telling you, because I'm on this. The moment you start talking slick,
look, Kara's got my eyebrows up now. When I see somebody pop up, I'm like, should I let them in?
What are you gonna say? What you gonna do?
Right
now. I appreciate the vigilance. I mean, you can never be too sure these days,
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Well, the universe had the cloud come down. Maybe saying something.
Yeah. Look,
no, he kept saying the universal creator.
Oops.
All right, I really don't like it when people be doing that.
Yeah, no, that's a very vague. Don't be vague. You know what I mean? You're not talking about the Most High. Yeah, you're not talking about the Most High.
Don't bring pronouns around the Most High. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no. That's because you're not talking about the Most High. The universal creator. Who are you talking about?
What's his name?
Higher power. Who are you talking about? You know what I mean? So no, you got to look.
I don't even like God, the word God anymore. Which one?
No, because absolutely.
Yep, right. I'm spiritual. Which spirit?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
There you go. Yeah.
That's funny because which one?
I tend to believe like what Charlotte was saying. In terms of the technology, I mean, to be honest, we don't know what technology that they have. We don't really know what technology is available. If they are signing a treaty, that means that there's some technology that's there and exists. So that's a given, right? But I really do have to say, honestly, I believe that this is more like the last vestige of like a principality reaching out and trying its best to save itself. Look, the West is under this principality. It's
Mm,
the principality
Yep.
of white supremacy.
mm.
Yes.
Turkey is supposed to
Yes.
be, the default, a default, you know, let's just be honest. They are literally a natural landlocked gatekeeper of white supremacy. We saw that with what? With Syria. I don't want to have all these Syrians, flee into Europe. Turkey has to do something about it, right? And then Turkey's like, remember all these folks that you all wanted to have us sit here and, you know, take care of all these Syrian refugees? And we were telling you it's a problem. And guess what? They said, nah, Sweden, take your IKEA and go somewhere else. Build your bed somewhere else.
He
You
said,
know,
"Take you."
yeah. They said kick.
Yeah.
They said kick rocks with the meatballs.
Oh, snap.
Oh, those smelly meatballs. Oh my goodness.
You know,
Oh no, yeah.
and so now all of a sudden, here we are in this particular time.
Mm-hmm.
Then this devastating earthquake happens,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what it's designed to do? It's designed to destabilize the country.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They're done. They're done for a good for
Well,
20,000. Yeah.
here's what it is. It destabilizes the country, and guess what? You have to go through the strait of the Bosphorus Strait, right, in order to get to Ukraine, in order to get to for Russia to get to the main seaports. Turkey was allowing the Russian ships to go into the Bosphorus Strait.
Okay.
Turkey wasn't allowing a lot of the Western ships to go into the Black Sea from the Bosphorus Straits, even though Turkey is a quote unquote NATO member. This was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't want to tell you that because people don't read it. It's right there, but it's like, reading and reading comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you read something doesn't mean that you actually comprehend what's going on until you
Mm-hmm.
actually analyze it and study it and see what it is that's being said. Because they're not going to say, "Well, did you know? Well, did you know?" No, you have to extrapolate it, and then you have to layer it down, and then you have to get a good analysis. Nobody's going to tell you all this stuff, but it's not surprising. But I believe what's going to actually happen at the end, you're going to see Turkey now moving closer to who?
Russia.
Russia and China. Bingo. Well, why are they moving close to it? Turkey's going to look at them with the side eye like, y'all know what y'all did. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Y'all know
But
what
and
y'all
that's
did.
and that's all prophecy. I mean, it has to be that way because what the 10 hate the horror and burn with fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the world has to turn its back, on the West and so on and so forth. So more people are going to continue to link up, with Russia, and BRICS is going to continue to grow, and the West is going to be left in the dark. Probably literally as much as they're hinting at this.
Speaking of that,
But did y'all? What are you talking about, the EMP
go ahead.
situation?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. I don't know if you guys came across this, but I wanted to show something really quickly that blew my mind. Right. I actually learned, I was fidgeting with this thing earlier, and I actually learned how, how to present something. Right. And so I just wanted to show you guys this really quickly. It's just something that I thought was crazy. That's on TV. But give me 1 second.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
All right, let's see. I think I have too many. I'm gonna close that one.
Okay. So
Okay.
That wasn't the one.
Yeah, that wasn't the one. Okay. Wait,
Yeah, there it is.
Should I mute myself?
Yes. Let's say it. It doesn't show as muted yet.
Muted.
Oh, and also the reason why Turkey didn't want Sweden in is because they wouldn't denounce burning the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why
Very
they didn't want them in.
Yo, bro, I was watching Married with Children, and this is the first commercial that comes on.
The next disaster is coming. The time to get ready.
What?
Make a plan. Identify meetup locations and people you'll need to contact. Put your contact list in your wallet,
What?
on your phone, and store
This is mad random.
Build a kit. Store enough food and water for 3 days. Don't forget your pets. And consider buying a pre-made kit. Keep at least 7 days of medication on hand.
What?
Work with your pharmacist and insurance company to secure the extra doses. Make copies of important documents.
Yo,
Keep them on your phone.
they basically giving you the plan.
3 days of water ain't enough.
Right. They said 3 days
right.
food. So the point is that, and this is what you were talking about earlier, how they will continue to put something out there and put something out there like, hey, you know, this is happening, or this might happen, this might happen, this might happen, and then it happens, right? And so the fact that if you can turn on the TV, I remember one time I was watching Food Network, and I mentioned this before. I'm watching Food Network, and went to commercial, and there was a commercial for generators, right?
Yeah.
And so all this they are letting you know how Luciferians are. They let you know what they're going to do, and then they do it. And then people, the masses think that it's some type of random occurrence when these Luciferians have been telling you all along what they're getting ready to do. And so that goes hand in hand, pack a bag. That was what they were passing out, those bug out bags last year. You know what I'm saying? And I believe it might have been Colorado or whatever. They're preparing you, but they're not. You know what I mean? Because nobody takes it seriously. It's just they have to put it out there. I don't know. I hear people say, "Oh, that's a rule. That's something that Luciferians do. They have to tell you before they do it." I don't. I don't know if I believe that necessarily. But I think, yeah, you want
basically just arrogance.
Yeah.
But it does seem like they have to let you know what they do before they do it. I'm not exactly sure why. I've tried to wrap my mind around exactly what the purpose of predictive programming is, as prevalent as it is. But this is a little bit like, this is a step beyond predictive programming. This is legitimate warnings. The thing is, it's not, pretty much publicized as much as it should be. This should be, if we're in DEF CON 2.
Yes, we are in DEF CON 2 right now.
There should be a nationwide warning about these things, but the general population doesn't really think about it.
Did you hear what he said? Could you hear him?
Yeah. I would
okay.
like to add to what he has said about like the predictive programming. Like I'd seen on like a few like truther videos kind of scattered around YouTube as to why the elites kind of do that. Like they hint at what they plan to do before they do it, because they think that's relieving them of some kind of guilt. So that way when they do this foolishness, then they don't feel so bad because they so-called told us that they did it. So it's all kind of
right,
something like that.
And that's some messed up logic, but okay, you know what I mean. And I believe I saw someone say that, like, if they say, hey, if they put up a sign and say, poisonous apples, and then you take the apple and eat it, then that's on you. That's not on them. So if they tell you, hey, we're gonna shut down the grid, hey, we're gonna blow stuff up, hey, whatever the case, and you don't react to it, then this is on your hands. Yeah, I've seen something like that. So, yeah, it's just that kind of blew my mind that that's on TV. You know what I mean? But what puzzles me more. Oh, go ahead, sister.
I think it's a dog whistle. It's letting those that are in that, like 1%, it's like a notification. Hey, it's time for you to go to your bunkers. So
Okay.
you'll see a whole lot of CEOs that just
disappeared.
Ghosts.
Yep. They left their they quit.
Left their jobs and they went ghosts. Where are they?
Dubai. They moved to Dubai. Yep.
Yep.
All of them just went over there for some reason. I mean, what's it? Okay.
That's what I saw. I didn't. A lot of them were trying to figure out how to get all of their cars to Dubai.
Yep.
I remember reading that. I remember seeing that a lot of CEOs and big wigs, if you may, were leaving this country in 2020 or 2021.
It might have been 2020 that it was like a massive amount of them that just
all of these people trying to figure out ways to get their 20 cars to Dubai.
Because they know this place is done, and that's it's over with, and so you move your assets and everything somewhere else and get cozy somewhere else, or like you said, prepare to go to get to the bunker. Just letting you know, we're about to push that button. You know what I mean? You best hide. So it's definitely, and I truly think that this is going to be the catalyst to our birth. And I said I was going to touch on this in the last video that I did. I truly believe that there is going to be like some type of, how Isaiah 60 says, the darkness upon the land and gross darkness to people. I used to kind of, go back and forth with that. Like, is it a literal darkness or is it a type of a spiritual darkness, or, because of the times and so on and so forth. But the fact that they keep, warning about this EMP situation, the power grid. And not only that, they did an exercise for it, and they're doing exercises for it this year. And I'm going to show you that too. But that makes me feel like, okay, it's going to be a literal, not only a spiritual darkness, but a literal darkness that is going to occur. And from that, I truly believe that in the midst of that, then we're born. The separation happens, and then from that, we get out of this country. So I don't know. I'm excited. It's weird. It's weird, but it's not. You know what I mean? Because the more that things happen, and I'm not saying people getting hurt or anything. I don't wish anyone hurt or anything like that. But the more intense things get, the more excited I get. I'm like, okay.
Well, in the midst of calamity, we're feeling a sense of fulfillment, not fulfillment in the calamity, but fulfillment that the Most High's word is coming to pass. As far as the judgment on these nations, it builds our it builds our faith in the fact that yes, these nations are under judgment. The Most High is faithful to His word, and what comes, after this judgment, and in the midst of the judgment, is our deliverance.
Birth. Is our deliverance. Absolutely. So, yeah.
So about Turkey and the exact place where that earthquake hit, I remember hearing somewhere that was the birthplace of the Arabic trade.
Okay.
That's the birthplace of the Arabic slave trade for the Israelites. So when you said, was it the Most High or was it, man-made? Both. The Most High allowed it.
Exactly. Right. And I think Talisha said that. Yep. He allowed it. Yep. Absolutely. And and if that is a precursor to what's to come to all these nations,
Spain better watch out.
Right. Spain better watch out. Portugal better watch out. Everybody better watch out. You know what I mean? There's going to be one safe place, and that's with us. You better be, hold on to us.
Crazy. You know what I mean? So I've been getting rid of a lot of my stuff. So I put my shed up for sale. I have one of those lifetime sheds, and I had to take it down. The HOA is like, oh, it's not it's not in the code. So I had to take it down. It was in my basement. So I finally put up on Facebook Marketplace for sale. And the gentleman that came he made mention that he was Russian and German. You know how the scriptures just flow out of our mouths. We just can't help it anymore. Like this is all we talk about. You know, of course, the family is sick and tired of it because every time you call them or they call you, you're just talking about the scriptures and you're talking about prophecy, and they're like, "Oh, we sick of Charlotte." But this gentleman was stuck here for 2 hours listening to me. He was a Caucasian gentleman. He was like, "Oh, I'm German and Russian. I'm not one of these Canaanites."
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, you know, because he's like, well, what happened about us? You know, we're not getting raptures. And I'm like, no, it's an Exodus. He's like, are we coming? And I'm like, let me let you read Isaiah 14. So I always have like a case of Bibles in my garage. So I pulled one out and I let him read it. And it's the ESV. And the ESV actually says slavery. And he's like, oh, I don't mind. I don't mind.
See?
I don't mind. I'll come. He was like, I was like, see that right there? And I pointed to my shelves in my garage. I was like, our suitcases are packed. We're ready. Like,
right.
And he's like, well, I'm going to get some bags packed. And he was like, I live in a neighborhood. I'm the only white guy. So I'll know when they're leaving.
Right. And man, it's so good to see that humbleness. Like, you know what I mean? People are like, well, I mean, let's go. All right. Let's,
I was so shocked. He's like, I don't mind being a slave. I'm like,
right. Hey, you can't tell some Gentiles that, man, you know, especially, you know, like I said before, like I personally have Gentile friends, and I've tried to, tried to share the truth. DJ and I, have sat down and had conversations and such. And, it feels different to me, because it wasn't received. Of course, there's some resistance, when you say that you are the people, you know what I mean? There's resistance, because it shatters people's eschatology. You know what I mean? They're like, wait, what a minute. They can't accept that they've been lied to. And you know how hard it is to accept that, the people, and I'm not speaking about them personally, the friends that I'm referring to, but just them in general. You know how hard of a pill it is for them to swallow that this whole time they've been staring in the faces of the Israelites and treating them the way that they have, so on and so forth. Not every single one of them, but treating them the way that they have, not knowing this whole time, that you're looking in the face of an Israelite. It's like I said before, we were the test, and and they failed. They failed the test. How would you treat you're supposed to treat everybody like you would want to be treated. I tell my children this all the time, and I know my children get tired of hearing it, especially my 6-year-old and my 5-year-old. But anytime there is a teachable moment, I'm bringing up the word, what Yahusha says, you know what I mean? Yahusha said. And so I always tell them, would you like me to do something like that to you? If you do something, they do something. And no, I said, well, you're supposed to treat people the way that you would want to be treated, do unto others. I don't even say that. I said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Right. To my 6-year-old and my 5-year-old. And so they didn't do that, and again, it's no, I don't have any malice or anything like that in my heart toward anyone. It's just the simple fact that it's going to blow a lot of people's minds when it does come to their realization, when the Most High does make that distinction finally in this Western world, and they realize that the whole time that they've been staring into the face of Israelites. You know what I mean? So, hi.
Yeah, she keep hearing you say 5 and 6-year-old. She's like, 5 and 6-year-old. She's 5.
Hi.
She's 5.
Your hair is beautiful. Your hair is beautiful too. Yeah.
Hi. They're locks.
Oh yeah.
I've always wanted
gorgeous.
To
oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? One day when they came on the other day, poor little Daniel, he was crying. He didn't have a nap. He came in the house crying. But yes, I don't know. I might have my husband bring down the baby. At least she took a nap and she woke up at 7:00. So it's gonna be a long night, But
all right.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
They just got out of bed.
To say hi.
So go ahead, say hi.
Thank you for coming to say hi.
We just took a bath too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome. See, now you're refreshed and you know, ready for rest whenever you're ready. Yeah.
Now, go to bed.
Hey.
She's like, oh me. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, potassium iodide. Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing there, you know, that they had people stocking up for. I'm gonna put this up here. Put potassium iodide right there. Let me see if it comes up. Yeah. Talking about they're stockpiling this, you know, for radiation situations. I mean, it's oops. There we go. It's all out there. But Brother Dave, Brother Karis, y'all been quiet. Are you eating again, Brother Dave?
No, I'm not eating. I've been here listening the whole time. I actually ate earlier. I was like, Brandy's getting ready to come on. Let me scarf something down real quick.
Okay. So anything else on you guys' mind? Anything that we could talk about? Talk about anything that you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, I was listening to the whole thing, and you know, that is the level of predictive programming that it's like, well, I'm not going to really believe it, but that's coming from somewhere. Someone sponsored that. Someone paid money to have that made and produced and broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, in my mind, is right. Then how long? Because that's always the question. How long is that event gonna? When shall it take place? When are we looking at it? Are we looking at it in the next 60 days, the next 90 days, the next 120 days? I mean, I don't think people even understand this. What's happening in Russia right now. They're getting ready to do their next offensive.
Yep. And in light of that, I wanted to show something that JWTV came out. I don't know if you guys seen this, but another warning. They just, you know how they do simulations, right? And every time they do a simulation, what does that mean? They're getting ready to do it, right?
Yep.
They always do this. Okay, so check this out. And JWTV was the one that brought this out. I would have pulled up the video, but I prefer to be able to read it myself, because he goes in he starts to talk about the graphene and so on and so forth, and how that interworks with everything. But I just wanted to touch on the lights out situation real quick. So here, let me pull this up really quickly. And you know what? I'm going to. And so before I do that, somebody asked what DEF CON is, and that has to do with the readiness for like emergencies, like say there's a nuclear situation or so on and so forth. So there's 5 levels. So 5 is the lowest, and then it goes up to 1. And so we're at 2, and I can pull that up also. And if anybody wants to add anything to that,
defense protocols.
Yep.
Right.
So here we go. 1 second here. Mute. All right, so it's called EarthX 2023, right? 6th annual EarthX Global Situation. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to skim really quickly through, but it says in the first 5 years of operation, EarthX became the world's largest all-sector international black sky exercise. Here we go, exercises, with thousands of participants in corporate and government partners in more than 40 nations spanning every continent and major landmass. The team that brought you EarthX is now upgrading the platform to a completely new level. Okay, so we're going to go down to what exactly this is. So let's see. Interactive experience ready for the next 1 years. Okay. Says we engaged the reboot team. Okay, we engaged in a unique creative team to bring in highly advanced new ideas and opportunities for EarthX. The full council staff was joined by many stakeholders and advisors for upgrade planning, including ideas Orlando team with its world-class experience in developing some of the most advanced, creative, and complex exercise platforms ever deployed. Okay, so the new platform concept design will be completed in late 2020, with the new platform itself to be built. Following the design process on this schedule, we will be hosting, and I'm sorry for my run-on sentences, I'm trying to see where it starts to talk about it. We will be hosting the next Earth X exercise using the new upgraded platform in 2023. So they're going to be having exercises on these things. Okay. In parallel with the Earth X upgrade, we are now hosting a series of online black sky exercises based on previous Earth X exercises. These are available to play at any time, focusing on scenarios that include a wide range of the disasters and risk elevating concerns worldwide, including cyber, EMP, mega fires, extreme flooding. And then it says we also custom design or personalized facilitation black sky exercises. So basically they all get together and they have these exercises. Apparently it's going to be online, or it might be in certain places, but where they tackle certain situations like they what's the word I'm looking for? I always say that.
Scenarios.
Yeah, they tackle certain scenarios. There you go. Of these disastrous situations. So I'm gonna go down really quickly, and then this is the video that they have for that.
Like a trial run.
Yeah, like so they basically yep. So here, watch this. Here, let me
make sure the audio is shared.
Yeah, the audio shared. I'm gonna
fair use.
As the world becomes increasingly dependent on interconnected, high-tech infrastructures, there is growing concern regarding the potentially catastrophic repercussions to modern society of large-scale, long-duration power outages. In response to this emerging global hazard, 500 public and private agencies and corporations in 44 states and in 14 nations took action. In offices, conference rooms, and emergency operations centers around the world, they participated in one of the largest multi-sector exercises ever attempted.
And concerns are growing today as the sporadic internet and communication outages seen worldwide over the past few days have increased dramatically.
Historic situation on our hands here. As the extent and repercussions of the outages are becoming clear, public concern is growing.
This is a regional, national, and international update.
Interesting.
You're muted.
all right. So you see that, right? Okay, this is all this build, and they're going to be doing these exercises this year, right? And so all this build up over, and you notice that it was an eclipse. Like that's the it's they're going to do it. They're going to do it. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of when. And I think what's so much like that first video we watched, like the next disaster is coming. Pack a bag. Have 3 days worth of food. Make sure you have medications and documents. And then, now this, you know what I mean? And then along with that, the substation situations, that started last year where you're trying to tell me that, people across the map are, you got people in North Carolina, South Carolina, people in this place and that place across, California, wherever it is, all hitting power substations at the same time. No, it's a buildup. And I stress this because I truly believe that when the lights go off, we come alive. You know what I mean? We're born. That's what I truly believe. So you don't do all of this for no reason. You got it.
Yeah, I got it. She might not let me sit down.
Oh.
So you think it's going to happen during the 3 days of darkness?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if there will be a 3 days of darkness. I haven't made up my mind yet on that. I do believe that the grid's going to go down. I don't know how long, but I will tell you what stuck out to me is when they said, make sure you have 3 days worth of food. You know what I mean? And so that made me feel they know. And so I don't know.
And
I
there's
don't
parallels.
know.
There's parallels between, this Exodus and
yeah, there
the
are.
first
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if
right.
it was,
right, if it was a literal 3 days. Yeah. So you believe that there's going to be a literal 3 days?
I haven't really done a study on it, but there were a couple of individuals that claim that the Most High made them prophet test that says that there will be 3 days of darkness, and that's when the I believe it's Jeremiah or was it Isaiah that says, go into your homes, close your doors, and stay for a little while. That scripture comes up. But yeah, they do say that there's 3 days of darkness, and then some. The fallen angels are going to have their way. So stay inside your house during those 3 days when it's dark. Stay in your prayer closet, wherever. Just don't open the doors. Don't look out the windows. Yeah, some of that kind of talk. Now, will it be that? I don't know. It depends. I mean, we'll see.
Right.
If I wake up and it's pitch black outside and I'm like, what time is it? Does it say AM or PM? Keep the curtains closed. We stay in the house. Nobody go anywhere. But until that, maybe it's a darkness of, I don't know, a spiritual darkness. I'm not sure. And maybe we'll be the only lights, illuminating. It's funny that you talk about us being born and our light shining. There's been multiple people that say that they see our light. And
I had one tell me.
It was a Ukrainian woman. Because on Wednesdays I normally go to a nonprofit and then take a bunch of food and stuff to like an outdoor refrigerator and pantry or whatever. And she always comes. She's don't want to get food stamps or anything like that. So this particular outdoor pantry is perfect for her. And I talked her head off too. And she was just like in it. Like they're not like the Americans. They're not like the Americans. These people that come from Russia and all these other countries, they're not like the Americans. They will absorb it. It's almost like they need it. They want it. They've been searching for it. And then they see somebody and they might, I don't know what the light looked like, but they say some type of an aura. And when somebody be like aura, I'm like, it just get a little new agey to me. So I don't like the aura talk and the universe talk and all of that. It's just like, But they are like so drawn to what we have to say.
Yep.
They're definitely different people.
Careful to only use scripture, because if we start talking some foolishness, we get judged.
I will say, like, when it comes to that sort of interaction with like Russians or like those Gentiles on like the the Eastern Hemisphere, I personally feel like when Isaiah 14 verse 1 and 2 kick in, I personally believe that a lot of the Gentiles that do come along with us will come from that part of the world. I really don't, and this is just me, I just don't think a lot of Gentiles here in America, the non-melanated, Gentiles are gonna want to come along with us. I mean, some might, but it's gonna be a sliver, if you ask me. Like where I am, a lot of the, so-called, believing Gentiles that I interact with, they just being around them long enough, I can tell they are not ready for this. None of them are going to be ready for what's about to unfold in the next 5 years or so. I really hope it doesn't take that long. 5 years.
I don't think so.
2 at the most, 2 at the most. But it's going to be one of those things where it's like the folks on the east side of the world, they're going to be more on board because they're going to see, just like Sister Charlotte said, the light that the Most High has given us as His people. But yeah, I think like in terms of the 3 days of darkness, I'm kind of like Charlotte. I gotta still do some study on that. I think ultimately it's going to be just like the way the Most High handled Egypt. Like He attacked the individual gods that Egypt worshipped, and that included the sun. And I think in some ways, like the judgments are going to tackle not just the gods, like it'll attack the gods of the world, but it'll definitely attack the gods in this country, and that includes like stuff like the Constitution. A lot of these believers, quote unquote, they worship the Constitution. They follow it more than the Bible.
Absolutely.
So to me, that's one of the things that's got to get completely torn to shreds by the Most High, and they're not going to be able to handle it. But those are just my thoughts.
The thing that kills me is, it's funny you say that. The thing that kills me is that they talk so much about the Constitution, but do everything to skirt the Constitution when it benefits them. It just they do everything, under color of law. And it's just like America. If you read the history of America, America does not keep its promises. America does not honor its treaties. Therefore, they have no honor. They don't honor their Constitution. They do everything to skirt the Constitution. So to me, it's a system that's its time has come. Its time has come. And you are right about Russian people, because I've spent a lot of time around the Russians and Ukrainians. They're a whole different people altogether than Americans. Very different culturally.
Yeah. They're more humble. I have yes.
So in Genesis 10, Japheth's children are considered Gentiles, but Ham's children are not considered Gentiles. It's later in it's the nations are also considered Gentiles. I'm wondering if that's a translation issue, because we are not technically surrounded by. If we're saying that Japheth's children are Gentiles, we're not surrounded by the Gentiles. We're surrounded by Canaanites. We're surrounded by the Amorites and whoever else ites that are Canaan seed. It's like, what was it? Seven of Canaan's nations, because Canaan had 11 children, 11 nations. The Sinites are the Chinese. That's Canaan's seed. And then you got the Amorites. Canada, they named themselves after Canaan. And then look at America, Amarakan. I got that from TPA. But yeah, we're not surrounded by the Gentiles. We're surrounded by Canaanites. And when we were surrounded by Canaanites, we were in the land. When we were back in the land, did we get along that well? If we didn't do what they wanted us to do, we didn't get along that well. Just look at Judah's wife.
Yeah.
And that's something. And you know what? That's a good analogy that that you said, because I think we haven't really dissected that. Who are the real Canaanites over here, and who are the real Gentiles? And I don't think that we actually put that down to say, hey, these people over here, or gave to group them in categories. We can say that America's is mostly this, or over there in Europe is mostly that. So we get to get a basic idea of who's who. And I think we nobody's ever really sat down and dissected that part. So that's interesting. That's interesting that she said that, because I've always wondered that myself. Gentiles. Let's really dissect who really are the Gentiles.
Right.
And I think TCA has done extensive work on that.
Yeah.
Which I have to dig deeper in myself. I've seen a lot of videos he's done as far as the Canaanites, and that's definitely worth watching, just to
Who'd you say, DJ?
TCA, Thoughts Camera Action. He did extensive research on that. He's done quite a few videos on the Canaanites.
That's right, he did do that. Yeah,
And that's interesting. You know, I didn't know that the Hamites in that particular scripture weren't named Gentiles. I personally didn't know that.
Yeah, because I thought it was any nation that wasn't us. But you know what's funny is that the scriptures say, talking about the more humble, the humbleness of these other nations. Not to say that they're all extremely humble, but they are more humble than this nation. That says, "I sit as the queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow." That's America, right? And so there's a really intense arrogance about this place. So the scriptures say that the Gentiles should come to the brightness of thy rising. And talking about, what you mentioned, Charlotte, as far as like we talk to these other people from these other nations, they're like, oh, what's going on? Well, but if you talk to, Americans here, they're like, oh, no way. You can't wait. You trying to say that you're Israel, they're very, they become very combative and very, they try to look for reasons to argue why you can't be, but they're all reasons that can be crushed, you know what I mean,
Right.
in a second. And so these other Gentiles should come to the brightness of thy rising, right? And the ships of Tarshish, this ain't Tarshish. So the ships of Tarshish is going to be the ones that bring us back, not the ships of America, right? Not the ships of the nations that we're in, or, you know what I mean, or the islands that we're scattered to. There's going to be ships of Tarshish, whoever those people are, that are going to want to help us. And that, you know what I'm saying? So
Tarshish were Spanish.
Okay. I didn't know personally. So are they Spanish? Okay.
Yes.
I recently.
Am I right, Cares?
You looked up a map?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And someone asked if we were going to be, if the nations would bring us back because of radiation. Here, I'm going to go back a little bit. I pulled it up. I personally don't think that we're going to be here for any type of nuke, because the Most High promised to rescue us, and he promised to. Here we go.
I hope so, because I don't look good with radioactive fallout.
No, that right. No. The Most High, we're not getting taken down with the building. And shout out to Prophet of Yah. I thank you for that comment that you left. I went to. I was gonna like the comment, but I had to clip the video because the baby was crying, and then I ended up deleting my old video and then made a new video. So, but yeah, I don't think we're going to be exposed to any type of nuclear situation, because that wouldn't match up with the scriptures. We're not going down with the ship. The Most High says to flee, so that we're not partakers of this judgment. You understand what I'm saying? So it wouldn't make sense for us to, be ducking and dodging, missiles. You know what I mean? Like, oh snap! But yeah. So I don't believe.
Well. Here's the thing. Think about this. Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Brandy. But,
No. You're cool. Yeah.
But think about this. Remember Russia just today? People were commenting on the video that they would give a 72-hour notice before. This is supposedly.
No, that's what I'm sorry, that's what Witchcom had in the chat. I think it might have been Ninja Fire. We're talking about we got or Tinsley. They got 72 hours. I asked him, 72 hours of what, but he never got back to me.
No,
but go ahead.
No. So this is on off-grid desert farming. Paul and Adrian.
Right.
And, so this was what they had reported, that Russia had said that they would provide up to 72 hours notice for any type of nuclear weapon being deployed.
Ooh.
Wow.
So that didn't mean that we're in a 72-hour window. So I don't think that meant it. However, I don't know Russian like that, and I don't know what that translation could have mean. Right? I guess we'll find out on Monday.
Right. And that's and that's where it's so intense right now. It's so hot right now. You know what I mean? Oh, we're gonna give you 72 hours before we'll let you know before we hit that button. But and see, that's the thing about Russia.
Somebody needs to
they
confirm
straightforward.
that so I can purchase my tickets tonight. No, I'm just
Right. Look, we ain't gonna we gonna be
need
all
to
right,
be in
y'all. We gonna be all
Tanzania
right.
in 30. Look, you say 32 hours.
Right.
That gives me 36 hours to be in Tanzania. I just want that other
Ooh.
36-hour buffer.
Right.
Buffer.
and there goes that 3 days, you know. Interesting. 3 days, you know.
You listen. Does Russia know what that would do to black folks here in the hood? That's you know what I'm saying? Let black folks know that they for real with that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, the most high gotta
getting looted.
He gotta, yeah, right. And that, you know what? And that's the thing. Even if the grid just goes down, that's enough to cause people to lose their minds. Because I told DJ, I said, look, if you're at work and the grid goes down, I said, don't even panic. I said, I'm not gonna panic. You just come on home. I said, if you gotta walk home, whatever the case is, we'll be fine. We'll be waiting for you when you get here. You know, everything's cool because we're not gonna panic.
You better steal a bike.
I was
we
thinking
thought about
buying
it.
One actually. I was thinking about buying a bike,
right?
Putting it in my van, right?
Right.
And then just making sure I don't lock it, because if it's locked and an EMP strikes, it's going to knock out every computer system, electrical system, period. So I was like, okay, I better leave that unlocked. Put a bike in there. We was for real thinking about.
Look, and then he has skates in the back, in the trunk too. I'm like, you got your skates, because he skates, right?
I do.
He skates. So I'm like, okay.
Well, I got an EMP shield. I got.
Well,
I got one of those.
roll drop. Get your roll drop with a baseball bat, just in case you need to,
right.
Just pull out one.
Right.
They got the EMP shields. You can put them in the car. I got one for my vehicle, and then I got one for my daughter's vehicle. It's just sitting in her closet because I can't get the nut off of her battery.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to ship it to you. Look, that thing costs like $300. But I got one.
It did.
Yeah, I got one in the circuit breaker as well. So if the power goes out, it doesn't fry any of my stuff.
Wow.
We won't have electricity because the grid would be down, but when the grid goes back up, everything else would be fine. But in the vehicle, it's the same technology that they're using for the military and the Pentagon. But yeah, it's called EMP Shield.
Okay.
For, I would say, almost 2 years now.
Okay.
We had a feeling that something like that was going to happen. I mean, I guess I would consider myself to be a prepper. And I'm like, if we leaving so soon, why y'all have me prep so much?
My thing is, I mean, listen, I'm one of those folks that I'm like, an EMP shield. Okay. Now let's think about this. When was the last place that we know of that had been EMP'd?
I don't think I can't.
I'm just saying, you tell me where there's ever been a place that's been EMP'd.
And how would they test it? Right.
Wait a minute. Wasn't it one in China did it over Japan, and Japan was out for a while?
I don't think so.
No, I've never heard of a place that got EMP. They always talked about it, but I haven't heard of a place where it actually happened.
No, I know they did a simulation on an island somewhere. They did like an exercise, EMP exercise, which I don't know. I mean, did y'all detonate? What did you do? What did you do? You get what
I'm saying? Yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's like, look, I'll sell you a big old thing of aluminum foil that I can get for for $10. I'm gonna sell it to you for $30.
Right.
Just use this. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. You have to have a Faraday cage for an EMP or any type of electrical.
Mm-hmm.
You may save a fuse or two with whatever is that you hooked up, but you ain't saving a full electrical system.
Yeah,
especially if you don't have an active Faraday cage. Nobody has about a cool $40,000 to do rhubarb with copper. And just think about that with your garage alone. Now put
Right.
that in your house, your fuse box. I just need to get over my fuse box. Well, then what about all the other cabling that's going to be exposed to the electromagnetic waves? I mean, you get what I'm saying. I think we get too emotionally charged with a lot of these things. And, listen, when it says to flee Babylon, you just might as well just chalk it on up and flee, because you ain't going to be sticking around. Well, in about another 72 hours, my refrigerator will be back on. No. All your stuff's going to be fried.
Yeah, it'll take months for America to come back up.
Yeah, and
wow.
Yep, absolutely. And the thing about, I'm careful, I want to be careful when I touch on this, because I know that there are people that are prepping for long term, but, according to the scriptures, we're going to leave out of here. We're going to get out of here. So, essentially, I say 90% of the stuff that we have is going to be left here. And I'll tell you this, and I'm really, hear me out on this. And this is not to discourage anyone from prepping. If the Most High tells you to prep, then you prep, because like someone just said, you might be prepping for someone else, because of the fact that, and I believe it's Baruch, correct me if I'm wrong, Karis, you might know that, or Second Esdras 15, when it talks about how people are going to be going from house to house, trying to find food and stuff, and basically ransacking places, if I'm recalling the scriptures correctly. But it's going to be total chaos, and that, again, we're in the midst of the climb, and they're in the midst of the fall. So these situations that the Most High is talking about that's going to happen to them is not, it doesn't include us. So like the Most High said, flee Babylon. But I tell you this, in 2020. I went through a couple of things. Okay, first of all, it was right after I found out. It might have been right after I found out that we were Hebrews. Is when I found out that there was going to be no pre-trib situation, because I said, wait a minute, it's something that don't seem right. And so I prayed, and then the Most High confirmed to me there is no pre-trib rapture situation. So I said, all right, well, I guess we better. Do we need to stock up and I'm thinking about boarding windows like the zombies coming to something like what do we need to do? We need to get a crossbow? What do we need to we got, okay, so I guess we got to ride this out, right? So I went to the store, and I'm buying food, filling up top cabinets, bottom cabinets, all kind, the garage, buying food, and I felt this urgency. But I knew, when I get uncomfortable and I get really, I get anxious, I know that's not from the Most High. So I prayed, and this is my personal experience. So like I said, not to deter anyone from prepping if you feel like you need to prep, but I prayed and I asked the Father, I said, do I need to do this? You know what I mean? Because I'm feeling very anxious, uncomfortable. I'm thinking about getting a crossbow. I'm thinking about, well, you better figure out, tell a DJ, you better figure out how to hunt. You better learn, we got to ride this out. There ain't no pre-trib rapture. And I kid you not, in the middle of praying, the Most High brought the song to my mind. Hold on. The lines in the song, hold on, change is coming. Hold on, everything's going to be all right. Now calm down. And that's when I knew he was like, just chill. Everything, change is coming. So what I'm preparing for is not what he's preparing us for. What he, you know what I'm saying? He was going to intervene. And that was before I understood that there was going to be a second Exodus. You know what I mean? And so from that, then I learned there was going to be a second Exodus, and we're going to leave anyway. So when I was prepping and trying to figure, okay, well, we got to ride this out, and so on and so forth. And I prayed, and Most High, hold on, change is coming. Hold on, everything's going to be all right. Right. And so, so that's my personal experience. So according to the scriptures, we leave anyway. And so if you think about a lot of our people, you know what I mean? If we talk about, and this is nothing against anyone, but we talk about the brothers and sisters that are not awake, or that are in certain mind states of survival, like in the hood or so on and so forth. They're not thinking about, prepping or so on and so forth. And so if the Most High say he's going to rescue all of us, is he, are only the ones that prep going to be safe? You know what I mean? Are only the ones that have he said he's going to bring all of us out, even the rebels. And so personally, that was my personal experience. And so storing up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of food, the Most High ain't going to have Israel sitting in their lands with the lights off, in the middle of craziness and peril for 3, 4, 5 years, and then he comes and shines the light on us, and then decides, I'm gonna send some ships to come get you. You know what I mean? It's a, like I said, we're coming up, and so we can all feel it in the spirit that things are different for us now. You know what I mean? And there is no, like I said in my last video, death, sorrow, and mourning coming to Israel is actually the opposite, the absolute opposite of what's coming to Yasharel. So, personally, I'm going to say this, and somebody might throw a rock at me, but personally, I don't see the purpose of preparing for 3-4 years with food and water, because the Most High ain't gonna have us out here like that. Now, according to the scriptures, y'all gonna be, not y'all, but the Gentile, it might not be Gentile, whoever it is, you're gonna be going from house to house, y'all gonna be killing each other, whatever, looking for food, eating your own children, so on and so. That's not us. That ain't us.
Think about this. Think about this.
Think about
this. When think about this. When the Most High said, y'all are about to leave Egypt, what did you do? You're gonna eat a meal.
With your shoes on.
With your shoes on, with your coat on, with everything tucked in. Please get out of here with that. Oh, I need to prep. No, you want to know why? Because here's the thing. Do you not understand they're doing these sea routes right now with these exercises going on? These freedom of movements. You want to know why? So we don't get sunk as we're going back to the land.
Yeah.
Why is that? How come all of a sudden Africa, these African nations, these African countries are saying they want us back?
Because it's time to go.
Because it's time to go. Do you not think that the Most High has had provision for that? Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we'll get them on back for you all. Just break us off some resources. Because why? Because they're not getting the resources that they're getting now. I was listening to Redacted today, and there was a statement that was made, and it was, it was very ambiguity. It had a lot of ambiguity to it, right? They were trying to say, well, the European nations are no longer able to provide, the aid that they used to provide. And it's kind of funny because then they try to preface it with, well, now that's going to cause a lot of starvation in the world and things of that nature, and especially Africa, right? They always try to use Africa. And I'm like, no, that's actually not going to happen, because a lot of European nations are getting kicked out of those African countries. Therefore, the cause of the starvation will go away because they'll have their resources. Oh, and you're not getting resources for free. So guess what? You're not giving out any aid. So that's that vicious cycle of what? Of predatory lending and things of that nature, predatory consumerism is no longer happening, because now they have to pay for their goods.
Right.
Now they got to pay for it.
Bingo.
And when people, and then when they're, that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, now that sounded good to the white supremacy talking points. Oh, black Africans, they're starving with flies in their faces and stuff like that. Yeah, now they're not going to be starving because your behinds are going to be out eating their food.
Right.
Y'all are going to be starving because here's the thing, because they're not dealing with y'all. They took their business to China. They took their business. We going east. We're no longer looking west. We're going east. Oh, and guess what? And they pay us for our stuff. And they're not trying to make any wars with us. We're going to be all right. And when we get our people back, we'll manage this thing a whole lot better. We'll get your people back for you. Just don't, just help us. It's always a quid pro quo.
Yep.
Did it say that the nations will do this out of the goodness of their heart? Let me know what scripture that says. Oh, the nation's going to do this because it's out of the goodness of the heart. No, it's a brightness, because why? Because the nations are understanding, oh, the light bulb came on. We ain't going to get quid pro quo. We ain't going to get this unless we do that.
Yeah. And I speaking of that brightness, I wanted to touch back on what Sister Charlotte was talking about, how they could see the light on us. I had an experience working at a grocery store recently, and I was ringing people up. It was I don't know, maybe 7-8 o'clock at night, ringing people up. I had a line, and there was a guy standing behind the person that I was currently helping, right? And he was looking at me, and he was just looking at me, and he kind of had a smirk on his face, and so I got self-conscious, and I kind of tried to pull my shirt, like, pull my shirt down, make sure you ain't looking at me or not, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, he's trying to get fresh. But anyways, he came up after I helped the person in front. He came up, and he bent down, because we had these COVID screens, in front of the cash register. He bent down under it to speak to me. He said, "You're a believer, aren't you?" And I said, yeah, I am. He was like, "I know." He said, "Because I can see the light of God on you." And he said that it's an anointing and you're going to do great things. And I was like, what in the world? And immediately my mind went to Isaiah 60. I'm like, is it happening already, Father? It blew my mind, because he didn't know me from a can of paint. And I thought he was like, I didn't mean to basically stare at you like that. I wasn't, I didn't mean it like that. He said, although you are pretty, but he said, right, he had to throw that in. But, I was self-conscious, because I'm like, why are you smiling? What are you looking at? And it was the light of the Most High that he could see, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, this is real.
Yeah.
I have my moments where I'm like, this is real. This is really happening. So I'll never forget that.
That's why the other day, Go Black to Africa had a guy, and I think they were in Israel. And then the guy came up to him, and they were Jewish people. They came up to him and started talking to him, and the guy just handed him a check for $3,600. And I was like, wow. I said, this is starting already.
What?
Yeah, I said, this is starting already. Wow. So when you mentioned your story, I'm like, okay, the word is out now. So don't be surprised if you get some Gentiles come to you and then all of a sudden hand you a check.
Yeah, I need to leave the house more than.
Right, that's the look. Like, where he at?
You know what?
We have to get used to that, or the scripture said that our hearts will be enlarged. We're going to have to get used to people, all the promises that the Most High is going to bring to us. People just handing you money, people, doing this and doing that because the light is shining. I mean, we have to, because as people, we're me personally, I'm used to a person. I've had to, or I'm a type of person where, DJ and I, we've had to do this, as far as our children and everything. We don't have any family around us, right? Our closest family members on his side, at least, is an hour or so away. And, it's not, we don't see them very often. My family is, so
we got you. Right.
So
right.
I've been out on my own for a long time. So, we don't have, people where we could say, hey, cuz, can you come and help with the children? Hey, auntie, can you come help? It's us, right. And so I'm used to saying, if somebody offers any type of help or whatever the case, oh, I got it. Oh, it's okay. Oh, you don't have to do that. Oh, no, right. And so I have to get used to, we're all going to have to get used to saying, okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to react if the Gentiles knock on the door and be like, oh, it's time for you to go. We got the cruise ships waiting at the docks for you. I'm like,
right.
Let me carry those bags for you.
All right, let me carry your bag. Oh, okay. Look, I'll be looking like I was at this. Oh, why are you looking at me?
Like, they be like, let me carry the children. Like, nah, you can't carry my kids.
Go ahead, Jaden. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quickly, like, I had a Gentile, I ran into, me and my mom, we were at the dollar store, right? We was in the checkout line, about to pay, and the Gentile ahead of us, he was, about to, get his stuff scanned and pay for it, about to pay for his stuff. And he looked over to us, was like, is this your stuff? And we're like, yeah, but would you mind? I can pay. I can pay for that stuff for you. And I was like, we were looking like, you sure? we weren't sure if he was for real or not. It's like, yeah, sure, yeah, I can pay for it. It's like, okay, thank you. So yeah, like this is, I've experienced it too. This is happening. Gentiles are like, you know, they're starting to come to the light. Isaiah 60 popping out for real.
Right. And that's strange, because I would have been like, oh no, it's okay. My husband would have nudged me like, say yes. You know, he's the one that, you know, trying to tell me to like accept it, you know. But Karis, what you're talking about, the Most High is preparing, you know, the growth of Africa right now, the rising of Africa. That's because that's where it's going to be at, you know what I mean? And that's what he's preparing the place for his children, you know what I mean? And so it's pretty exciting to have the eyes to see the I always say, what's the word I'm looking for? But that the
prophecy before us.
Yeah, the prophecy fulfilled, and the transference of power, you know, and how the Most High is setting things up. And it's like all of a sudden, you know, what's so funny, you know, before I was awakened, I never thought about going to Africa. Now it hurts me to even look at videos, you know, of people in the concert, because it's that yearning is so strong, and so and it oh, Father, please. Please. You know, you see the breeze blowing, and
I just want to go to, when I get there, I want to get to Victoria Falls, and I'm just gonna be on the falls, and I'm gonna be beating the drum, and I'm just gonna be saying hallelujah, hallelujah.
Yep. We're gonna be like, oh, that's Karis.
Like the Black Panther dance. Who's doing the Black Panther dance on the falls? Oh, we doing this. We gonna do this righteous, not with the witchcraft that they were trying to portray. No, but it's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have to understand, a lot of it was not touched because the continent was basically got emptied out when we left. I mean, you know, that's the whole thing. That continent is really empty, and it's very vast. We don't even understand how vast it is. You understand that you can fit 3 United States comfortably.
It's huge.
And the continent of Africa.
That's what I'm talking about. I can't wait. I can't wait.
You get what I'm saying?
Right. I can't wait. I can't, and that's going to be the Africa's going to be the superpower. You know what I mean? The superpower. And while the rest of the world is in turmoil, and that's just scripture. That's just prophecy. And I always say, when I say things like this, I never mean it in a malicious or derogatory fashion. I'm just stating what the scriptures say. And so if it hurts somebody's feelings, I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm just stating what the scriptures say. And that's part of accepting reality. You know, people have to accept what's happening and what's going to happen. And therefore, you know, after acceptance, you can be prepared to follow us out of here or wherever we're coming from. Follow, you know, humble yourself and just be like, yo, this is the way to safety. I'm not staying out here and getting blown up. I'm following them, you know, so just humble. I would humble myself if the Chinese were the Israelites and the scriptures are saying, yo, you better follow them wherever they go. I was like, all right, let's go, y'all. Let's go. You know,
but you know,
it's like this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, JD.
I was just gonna say it's like this. When, like, take a picture, like look back at like America at its economic peak, cultural peak, political peak, you know, anytime in history. When the Most High gathers us all back into the land, the riches he's going to give us and the resources and the influence and the security he's going to give us, it's going to make everything that came before just pale in comparison. That's how massive of a turnaround he's got for us.
Amen.
Well, the Most High said he's going to do us better than our fathers, right? He's going to do us better than them.
But think about the technology that's there. Okay, if we can keep our brothers and sisters safe, that's inventing this this awesome technology, keeping them safe from being poisoned, for having free electricity, for doing, water powered and just literally electricity out of thin air on vehicles. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Mhm.
We would have we have the inventors, and you
Right.
have the inventors with the resources. Like, get out of here. We would be
Right.
fabricating heavy duty machinery. We would have factories and everything else there so quick it wouldn't even be funny. We would be growing food that wouldn't be non-GMO because the soil is fertile, is not dead with pollutants, right? We would
yep.
also have a plan to do what? Every 6 years, we do what? Well, we up and we leave that plot of land that we had
Let
just
it rest.
planted, and we let it rest. And then guess what we
Mhm.
do? It's a what do you then do? It's staggered. They don't even understand how to stagger land.
Yeah,
Mhm.
All
yeah.
right, I plant this
It's
1, 2, 3. This piece 1 year, this piece 1 year, this piece 1 year, this piece 1 year. Oh, and then this piece for 6 years. Okay, now I gotta let this land rest, plow it down, let it rest, right? And then you stagger it. It's a simple process.
Or you can do aquaponics.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's a simple process. Because why? Well, 1/7 of your yield is a seventh of your yield.
yeah.
But the problem is they've been trying to over cultivate their land, and now the land isn't giving forth its yield.
Mhm.
They're not giving forth a yield. Their produce is terrible. Because why? Because the land has been overworked. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I just think it's global warming. Yeah, well, you had to put the fertilizers in there. You had to put all these other artificial nitrates and things of that nature that didn't do very well because it's just overworking the land. And the land has had no rest. So instead of now plenty, now they're in famine. Well, I don't know why this thing's looking so bad. And then it's like, well, you got GMO, and now these GMOs are giving people cancers because they're not even natural foods. They've been genetically modified. Because
Yeah,
why? Because they didn't want to do what the Most High said. It's a simple practice. It's a simple practice. Leave the land, let it chill for a little bit, and then guess what? That next year, after them 6 years, 7th year, it's gonna rest, and then you go from there. So
yeah,
it's not about buying more land to what? To destroy the land. I think that's why the Most High hasn't really let them destroy that land there the way that they could have if they really wanted to.
yeah, yeah. At the Most High, He's gonna fix it. He's gonna make it right. We're gonna get on track. And we're gonna do this right, and it's gonna be glorious. And we're gonna be able to follow simple directions. Excuse me, because the Most High said that we will all be righteous, right? We're gonna do what He says do. And somebody had a question as far as someone said half of Hollywood has moved over there. So what's going to happen? Excuse me, to them. And the thing is this, like the Most High said, everybody's coming out, but the rebels won't enter into the land. So you're gonna get purged out. That's what the scriptures say. So if you don't I said get down with the get down. If you don't come under the rod, come under the hand of the Most High and pass under that rod, you won't even make it into the land anyway. So they have a choice to make. We don't have to worry about them because they have to worry about themselves. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
um I don't know what this purging is gonna look like, y'all. But it's gonna, according to scriptures, it's gonna be one. So yep, that's basically the answer to that question, I believe. And something I was thinking about, and I want to get out before I forget, because I always think about this. But you know how we all come together like this, and we're all separated, but how the Most High has us coming together as a community. Just imagine what it's going to be like, when we're all physically together. It's going to be amazing, to have these conversations face to face. Now, y'all know what I look like. So when you see me, you better introduce yourself.
I know.
I'll be like, don't act like you don't know me now. But I really look forward to having this togetherness in person. It's amazing because again we didn't, me personally, I didn't have this before, and I know a lot of us didn't. We weren't a part of a community like this, and our the Most High has brought us together through the truth and through the fact that we are a nation. We're not just individual people. We're not black people. We are the nation of Yasharal. So I'm excited about the Most High bringing us all together, face to face. And so I wanted to say that. But yeah. So
there's gonna be billions of people. That's gonna be overwhelming.
It might be, but I'll be the one holding a sign or something. I don't know. I might have my own balloon walking around, like, hey, it's me, but
do you really go ahead? Do you really think it's going to be billions of people?
No, I don't think so.
That's what I mean.
I think that how many of us are there? So, as far as totally scattered, how many of us? I think that those will be
45 million in America.
In America, right? And then we have the other, the Isles and so on and so forth. And so us plus whoever clings, I don't know if the scriptures say, Zechariah 8:23 says, 10 shall take hold of one that is a Jew, and say, I hear that Yahuwah is with you, I will come with you, right? And so I don't know if that means we're bringing on 10 that cling, you know what I mean?
Right. I don't know if I trust 10 of them coming on to it. Like some of them Gentiles a little shady. So I'm like,
unless you know them personally, right?
If you know personally, but I don't know if I trust all them trying to grab on my shirt. Be like, nah, bro, where you been at?
Right. They gonna ask me, why you got that porcupine outfit on?
That porcupine outfit.
I know, right? Oh my God.
Oh no. Yeah, I think that I think that me personally, and this is my opinion, but when the scripture said that the Most High is going to sell them into our hands, I believe that they are going to, whatever's going to happen, whatever the catalyst is, if it is an EMP, whatever the situation is going to be, they're going to be so terrified. They're going to like, look, and money might not mean much, or maybe it will, but because we leave with great substance, and that might mean that there's substance given to Africa where we're going, to an organization, and then they use it for us. But I believe they're going to literally, look, I got 20,000 in my bank. Let me come with you. Look, I got 15,000. Let me come with you. Type of, maybe that's how the selling into our hands is going to happen. It's just speculation. Just speculation. I think they're going to sell themselves. You know what I mean? Like, please, take, look, I got 100K. Take me with you. And then I don't know.
Like, no fiat currency, only silver.
Right.
Exactly. Can I burn that? Look, whatever.
Right. You said, can I burn it? Look, no, you be like, look, go convert that and then come back to me.
Right.
But
some bars.
Right. I got 12 bars. Here you go. But and then also I think that it's just speculation. We speculate, because we don't see it until it is fulfilled. But how it talks about us selling some of them to the Sabians. I believe that with the 10 taking hold of one, well, we don't need that many people, to help us with our fields and our household. I mean, if 10 takes hold of one, well, there's 7 in my family. So you mean tell me like there's gonna be 70 people attached to us or something? I mean, we don't need you all. You know what I mean? So am I then going to say, well, I'll sell you to the Saviors because I might only need 10 of you,
you open up that can of worms.
I mean, I'm not trying to.
It's gonna be.
You gotta feed them. You gotta house them.
Right.
We gotta go by this law. We gotta go by this law.
Like, I gotta put them in the stocks and chains.
I
gotta brand them just to make sure.
Oh no, you gonna get me. Look, I'm not, and I always say, just in case there's Gentiles that do listen in, we're simply, talking about the scriptures. You know what I mean? And the scriptures say that they will be our servants and our handmaids. And us, you're coming into our land. Okay, if you come into Africa, are you going to own the companies? Are you going to own the businesses? Are you going to? No, you're not. We will own, and so therefore we must employ you. You understand? And that's just. I mean, just like this, are we in our land right now? So who do we have to typically go to get a job? You know what I mean? It's common sense, so it's not in a derogatory fashion.
Right.
They in the chat cutting up.
Right.
But the thing about it is we have laws. Leviticus we have laws when it comes to how we treat servants and those that
Right.
sojourn with us.
Yep.
Right.
Our quote unquote slaves will be eating at our tables. They will be like
Right.
our family. So, the more you have, that's the more mouths you got to feed. That's the more people you got to house. You got to treat
Right.
them with that. We don't treat people the way that they treated us. That's just
Correct.
not going to
No.
happen. And if that does happen,
You're gonna be in
they'll
trouble.
probably have a rock shower.
Right.
You're gonna be what did you should say? He said if you come and what? You drinking with the drunkards. You coming, or you're doing certain things, and then your portion is going to be with the hypocrites, right? And so he expects us to act and carry this out in a certain manner, and we are going to be the example, right? Because that was supposed to be our position from jump. Our position was, this is my nation. Now let me show you, as far as the Most High. Okay, I'm gonna show you how it's supposed to be done, and that was supposed to be our role, and it will be our role. But so when they do come and work for, like back in the day when they had servants and stuff, a lot of them during the time of the Jubilee, they didn't even want to go because they loved the people that they worked for. And that's the type of relationship, that we're going to have with them. Essentially, there are some people that are like, no, we're going to kick them down, and no, it's not going to be like that, because we have
probably going to be a rebel. They're going to be purged.
Right. You're exactly.
Even the scriptures even tell you how to treat a stranger, right? How to treat someone that cleaves. Because why? Because it says, look, we were strangers in the land, right?
Yep.
And we were treated badly in this land. And that's the thing. That's really not a lot of the nature of our people, especially our people in the awakening.
Right.
That's right.
We don't have that that, because you understand, we don't operate in the flesh, right? They've operated in the flesh, so all they're going to do is respond in the flesh. We don't do stuff like that, which is hard for them, So for a lot of them, it's like, oh, I know black folks. I understand black folks. I've been to the continent. I understand. Look, I'd rather be up under them for a minute than anywhere near, my own people. That's what they're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they're thinking. Look, if I'm a white person and I'm here, and it's like, all right, these folks are literally talking about shooting Satan 2 missiles. I don't even know what happened to Satan 1, but they upgraded to Satan 2 already.
Look, and this is the thing. You're calling it Satan. Excuse me. Can we talk about it for 1 second?
You think
y'all crazy?
That captivity in Russia in the cold is going to be nice when you ain't got hardly no clothes on you in the Siberia?
Look, I don't know. Let me tell you something. Look, there was a Gentile that worked with, or we don't. Speaking of what Sister Charlotte was saying, we got to go over who are Gentiles and who are not. But there's a Caucasian fella that worked with my husband, and this man, he wears shorts. So if you're listening, I'm sorry, but he wears shorts all year round. Now, so they can take a little cold. Look, I go to the store. We're in Michigan, right? So we're in a place where it might snow in April. You know what I mean? And they wear no coats, shorts, flip flops. I'm like, good gracious. That's just a side note. They have a look. He laughing. They have, and that's how you know that we're not meant to be here, because the skin tone, they can take that cold. But yeah, no, that's a side note though. That's a side note.
Right. Not to mention those Poseidon missiles. So they got something. They got the Satan missiles for the air, and they got the Poseidon missiles for underneath the water. Any way you add it up, it's just a bad situation.
Yeah, no, it really is. It really is. And you know, well, I believe that the Most High, He's gonna pull us out before they start to fly. You know what I mean? And that's just from what I can see and how the Most High, He said 400 years. He said judgment and great substance, right? That's the succession, you know, of the scripture. And so the Most High says, darkness upon the land, gross darkness people, but the glory is on you. And Gentiles should come to your rising. And so I don't, you know, we're not being lit up because we're being nuked. We're being lit up because the glory of the Most High is on us. So, you know, I truly, honestly, all praises to the Most High. I truly don't believe we have anything to fear. And I honestly believe that in light of everything that's, you know, coming down the road, how they're talking about this new virus that they're trying to come out with in 2025. You know, the Deagle report talking about 70% of the population ain't going to be here in 2025. I need to know where they're going to be. Okay. And then, you know, everything that they're, you know, the enemy is, you know, trying to head us off. You know what I mean? So the Most High is going to snatch us out the way, you know. And so, and that is no reference to the preacher.
Right.
Sister Sheila was asking about the Psalm 91. And I truly believe that Psalm 91 was talking about that pestilence, you know, that bow and that crown. I think that's what, because we're seeing it happening now. I mean, absolutely. It's not just happening in their families, it's happening in ours. I found out that I have like 3 second cousins that passed in less than 30 days.
Wow.
And I think the Most High that I did not personally know them. So it really hasn't come that close. I mean, I have a huge family. I'm the 15th child of my mom. And then her parents had like, her mom and dad had 11. And then, you know, I got family. Yeah, we got a huge family. So I didn't really know them. I don't even know if I met them at a family reunion. That's how, you know, I didn't know them. But I'm like, I have 3 nephews. One is in the Navy. Well, no, 2 of them are in the Navy. And I forget where the other one is, but they took it because they felt pressured. Now I have one in the Air Force that he's like, I don't think so. I'm not taking it. And so like he fought tooth and nail. He thought that they were just going to let him go, but they refused to let him go. They refused. He's from Missouri. And he's like, when that balloon passed over, they had them locked down. He couldn't even get onto the Zoom Bible study because they had everything locked down. They were petrified of that balloon.
Yeah. And you know, that like you said, we're seeing the effects of that situation, of that solution in real time, and it is affecting some of our own, but at the same time, a majority of who it's affecting is the people that essentially they trust. When your God is your country, then you trust that government, and therefore you treat them as your Elohim or your Lua, and therefore if they say take this, you take it. If they say put that mask on your face, then you do it. If they say, you know, shoot all your children up with all kinds of stuff, then you do it. And so it's a great lesson, and it's an unfortunate lesson, but it's a great lesson in not treating your government like they are your creator, you know. So unfortunately, a lot of them are learning the hard way, and you know, truth be honest, you know, I pray for the families that have lost children, you know, to this, and you know, because it's tragic, but it is we're in a time of judgment. You know, the Most High didn't call us to be cold, you know, but yeah, it's just
keep it
it's
real.
yeah, and it's only increasing, and it will increase as you know, longer that stuff sits in your system, the long, you know, the more chance you have of it actually you know, running its course. But I'm gonna have to get ready to wrap it on up and get some shut eye, you know what I mean. But last comments from everyone. Jaden, is there anything you would like to say before we shut it down?
Yeah, just real quick, I'll make this quick. Once again, I just thank you, Sister Brandy, for having this wonderful platform. In this awakening, it's really just myself, my mom, and my sister. My sister and brother-in-law actually live in Michigan too. They live in like Western
right on.
Michigan. And so
Right, okay.
we're like the three of us, we have been in the truth for a long time, but it's so hard for us to like find a real genuine community that we can like speculate and exchange ideas and kick back stuff. So this is just a wonderful outlet for myself. And I mean, Most High bless you for this, and especially Brother Karis, his Covenant Awakenings. I listen to that every morning when I'm at work, and it's such a refreshing, edifying channel. And I learned so many things. I'm usually jumping in and out of the chat and having just a real community with folks. And shout out to Teo Ministries and TCA and Dante Forson. Like this is my like this is the only reason I use YouTube really.
Yep.
So this is like, yeah, I've learned so much more from you guys in the last like 4 years than probably like the last 30 some odd years I've been in church.
Amen.
And it's just it's purely the Holy Spirit doing all this. And yeah, I'll land my plane there. Thank y'all so much for this.
No, absolutely. And thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts. I'm always interested to hear other people's thoughts, not just giving my thoughts. Like I always say, this is a family, and so I like to come together. It's been a blessing for me, to hear other people like Karis, people like Teo Ministries, people like Sister E and Ashana and everybody, just the whole community, just getting, like you said, being able to kick back and forth, because we can't do that with people that are around us. So I appreciate you coming on. You come on anytime, and we're doing this every Friday. Chat it up. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and if I didn't want to close my eyes right now, we'd be on for another 3 hours if y'all wanted to keep it going, but peace and blessings to you, brother. So Sister Charlotte, any last comments before we go?
Well, I would say in these last days that we should not only look to these YouTube streets for our word and our learnings, that we should dig into the word and spend more time with the Most High, because I have a feeling that he wants to speak to a lot of us, and some of us are not hearing him because we're not spending enough time in his word. Because every time I pick up the book, I'm like, whoa, like I didn't see that before. And I really truly feel that the way that we left Babylon the first time is the way that we'll leave Babylon this time. The king of Persia came in and he released the children of Israel. And I believe the king of Russia will come in and he'll release the children of Israel. I don't know if that's going to happen, but, you just take it based off of the Most High's trends and the way that his patterns of the way he does things. But I do think that we need to spend way more time with him in prayer, reading his word. This is the Shabbat. The Shabbat is supposed to be all about him, centered around him, and having relationship with him. So I think that, instead of being on these YouTube streets this Shabbat, tomorrow and until the sun goes down tomorrow, that maybe we should just, get into that word and do some singing and praising and stay off the YouTube streets for the day. I don't know. That's just me.
I agree.
But
thank you, Sister,
so much
for coming on. Of course, you come on anytime you want. Thank you for coming on and sharing your perspective. And I appreciate how how outspoken you are. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's refreshing, to see sisters that are sure. You know what I mean, and able to present, their thoughts on things and also, but coupled with the word, So I appreciate you. All right, Mr. Dave, Brother Dave.
Oh, yes. Listen. I had a great time tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, Miss Brandy. Thank everybody on the panel. And remember, I told y'all a little while ago, less than 6 months, a lot of stuff was going to happen. So stay prayed up. Keep your head on a swivel. And remember, that time is drawing near. Everything that's going on now is pointing to a time that's drawing near. So I hope you're there to see that window that's going to be open to us. And I pray that the Lord gives you the right discernment to know when it's time to get out.
Amen.
I
received
and
that.
I land my plane.
I received
God
that.
bless.
Amen. Brother Karis.
Okay, well, Sister Brandy, thank you again for having us on. But you learned another a trick or two with the audio settings on StreamYard.
Right.
You learned how to do technical sound engineering on the fly.
Right. Appreciate that.
Shout out to everyone on the panel. It is a blessing to be amongst our people. It's a blessing to just congregate. Even when on my platform, I let folks come on, and today, I don't try to present to where I just want to beat up on Israelites. No, but I am going to give you some admonishment. Okay, I am going to give you some correction because it's done with love. If we don't correct anybody, then guess what? We're going to be going right into the ditch of feelings.
Yeah.
And so, shout out to Brother Dave. Brother Dave was the one that really had to give. He really was the one that put me. I was like 2024. I said maybe. I said I'm thinking 2024. Brother Dave was like, you may think again. And it was like a week later. I said no. I said yeah. Brother Dave was right.
Right.
Brother Dave knows. I was like, I'll think in 2024. It's like you better think again, Brother Karis. I'm like,
right.
All right,
Yeah,
you're right. Because they said, Iran now has the Caribbean on lockdown. They're doing their best impersonation of Jack Sparrow. You know what I'm saying?
The best impersonation.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Russia is sitting out in the Atlantic.
Yep.
They're just, how bold that is to be one man deep? Like, I'm one ship deep. Do something.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like, do something. That's bold.
Yep. That's because it's about to go down. Yep.
Yeah. It's like, do something. I dare you. It's like, swing on me. I dare you. That's what we do in the hood. It's like,
right.
Oh man. Oh yeah. So, and then Russia and China having their Pacific fleet. Out in the Pacific. I'm thinking, it's like, what was that corny movie with John Boyega back in the day, with Pacific Rim or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Well, they got their Pacific fleet, and them dragons and them bears are like, they join forces like a WWE WrestleMania, Cage edition.
Devon, get the tables.
We got the tables, the ladders, and extra razor blades.
Right. And the real ones, because look, it broke my heart when I was a kid and I found out that wrestling wasn't real. I thought it was all real. I was like, are you serious? I used to watch it all the time. Yeah, but anyway,
it broke my heart too.
I was like, what? Like, I thought the whole story, Stephanie McMahon, the whole thing was real. And I'm like, they're really going through this,
I thought Hulk Hogan could beat anybody.
Right. But yeah, they got the real razor blades, and it's about to go down. When so much stuff was piled up, and it's like, okay, something has to explode, because everything's not going to dissipate and just go back to what it was. Something has to. We must go forward from here. So I'm prepared for whatever that is, ready to go. I know the Most High promised to deliver us, so I'm not walking around like, oh, woe to Israel. No, it's time to get ready to go. So have that bag packed. Just be ready to go whenever the Most High says, time. So I thank y'all for coming on. Thank you, for coming to join me. Like I always say, I'm just a sister that shares some, likes to share some thoughts and some perspectives. And I just appreciate the love that I've received from from everyone. And I truly do care about y'all, love y'all. And if y'all up for it, let's do it again. So
amen.
Next Friday, Freestyle Friday. Somebody's gonna have to kick around one of these times for real. We're gonna freestyle for real next time. We're gonna start. That's how we're gonna start the show next time. All right.
All
I'm gonna throw out a topic. Y'all gonna have to come up with some lines. But Shabbat
y'all might not be ready for the topics I might want to bring up.
It's gonna be some random stuff like you can't rhyme nothing with that. But Shabbat Shalom, y'all. I hope y'all have a great Shabbat. Y'all take it easy, and thank you for joining me again. Love everybody in the chat. Thank you for coming. Love y'all, and I will see you on the next one. All right, see y'all next Friday.
See you, fam.
See you.